Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, details on a judge's ruling that the state's school facility funding system is unconstitutional. Also tonight, a pilot program looks to help older adults with dementia who live alone. And a new art exhibit features the works of a mother and daughter united by a shared devotion to transformation. Those stories and more next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your public television station.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. Earlier this month, Maricopa County Superior Judge Dwayne Fox issued a final judgment that requires the state to establish a system for funding school facilities that ensures that schools meet the, quote, minimum requirement for students to have what they need to learn. For more on the ruling, we welcome Jimmy Arwood from the Arizona School Boards Association. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Ted. Great to be here.
Okay, so the judge ruled, this is the school facility funding system, correct?
Correct.
Okay, first of all, how does that system work?
Yeah, great question. So currently what we have in Arizona is a grant-based system. So school districts have to apply to the School Facilities Division at the Arizona Department of Administration and receive approval for grants from there.
Okay, that sounds somewhat convoluted. It sounds really convoluted if you're in a rural district. Is that the further out you get, the worse I would imagine it would become, correct?
It's really difficult for school districts with minimal amount of staff being able to cover all the things that they need to do for kids, but to also then cover what they need to do for their facilities as well.
The judge's ruling is that the system as it exists, as it stands, is unconstitutional. Why?
Yeah, great question. And so the state has, for a very long time, not funded school facilities since the 90s. And in the late 90s, there was the Roosevelt case decision that basically said we are relying way too much on taxpayers at the local property level instead of creating a system of parity. Because we want every school to have a uniform system of funding. That's what the Constitution says, and that's ultimately what the legislature and our state has violated.
Okay, violated to the point that, according to the judge, the kids aren't getting basically what he's saying is equipment and buildings are falling apart.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, we have roofs that are leaking. We've seen school districts that go 10 years without potable water. These aren't things that should be acceptable in Arizona or anywhere.
And falling apart, the potable water, the whole 9 yards, on an unequal basis?
That's right. So they're relying right now on local taxpayers to pass bonds to fund school facilities. Obviously, across the state, some voters vote for bonds, some voters don't vote for bonds. That's creating an unequal system for our kids.
Yeah, and the judge basically gave the state, and this is interesting because so many people think school districts are in charge of the money, in charge of where the money goes. But the judge is basically saying, no, state, Arizona, you're in charge here. You're the one who needs to make the changes, and you got to do it in 8 months?
That's right. Well, I mean, they've been given since the late 90s to make a fix to this system, which, by the way, they did for a short period of time. They created a formula-funded system. But then during the Great Recession, they got rid of that. They went to a grant-based system, and that's what's creating the disparities. And that's unfair for a student in rural Arizona. It's unfair for a student that's in a district where they can't get bond dollars. It's not fair.
The 8-month deadline, though, that's kind of a squishy deadline, isn't it? Because hasn't there been an appeal already?
There sure has. On Friday, we saw that the legislature did put their notice for appeal.
Okay, and the appeal basically means a stay is coming, and the stay means 8 months will be extended out into who knows how long.
Yeah, in this case, if you were a third grader in 2017 when this next iteration of the case came forward, you would be a senior in high school today, and you would still have gone through the entire system without a fix to school facilities.
I found it interesting, though, in reading about this, that the legislature, in appealing, is basically saying, among other things, is that the judge is inserting himself into the legislative process, which is budgeting. If you don't have the money to do this kind of stuff with schools, you're telling us, the legislature, take money out of X and put it into Y. That's not the place of the judiciary. They have a point.
I'm happy to respond to that. The judge is saying you have a constitutional obligation to fund schools in a fair way. And they've said that, again, since the 90s. They are funding other things that aren't constitutionally obligated. And again, you can raise revenue to cover those costs. You can do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, this is a obligation that the state has to pay.
And the judge, I think, is also basically saying, that's all fine and dandy, but I can't allow you to continue with an unconstitutional system.
Exactly. Yep. And they're saying we need to get a fix here, because at the end of the day, what we saw in this case is that student learning is being impacted. When a kid goes into a classroom and it's 90 degrees, it's going to be really tough to perform well on a test when you're just trying to get through the class period. We want our students to come into classrooms that are distraction-free, that are safe, and are places where they can focus on reading, writing, and math.
So we see where the schools are, we see where the courts are, we see where the legislature is. Where's the governor in all this?
So the governor put out her executive budget in January, stating that they want to fund bond dollars up to $1.5 billion from the state to really get us started on fixing this issue.
But the judge, I think, in his ruling also noted that the governor's office, in terms of her budget request for school facilities, was way under what is needed to be done. So there could be work there as well.
Well, when the governor is putting together those requests, that is based on who is applying to this grant program. And as I mentioned before, when you're in a small rural district and the statewide funding system is a base of $16 million, if you put in a grant submission today, you might not get it for 5 years, depending on how much money is there. And so not everyone is putting in submissions because it's a hard process, it's a long process. And when you're at a small school district, it's like, if you have to wait that long, why do it?
So are you basically saying that the governor's office will likely have a different number, different requests now that this ruling has been made?
Well, I think there's certainly a lot of needs across the state, and I can't come here and say with certainty this is what the number is right now, but what I can tell you is when I look at schools right now, they're not where they need to be.
So what's next in all this? We got just wait for the 8th month and wait for the appeal and wait for how long? How long do we wait for this now?
Well, what we really want is the legislature and our capital community to come together, put together a solution that can help kids today so that kids can start focusing on the things that matter.
Any sign of that happening?
We're hopeful.
Jimmy
We're
Argo,
going to keep fighting.
Arizona School Boards Association. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much.
In this week's Ireland with Michael, join me as we step into a world where history whispers through the hills and ancient legends linger in the air. Ireland's ancient East is a land of myth and mystery. Together, we'll wander through dramatic landscapes and uncover tales of pagan kings as Ireland's ancient East is calling.
Tuesday at 11 on Arizona PBS.
Too frequently, we're saying goodbye to the veterans and survivors of World War II. World War II's victory, and in other nations, its defeat, was also witnessed by and achieved through the extraordinary efforts of women. It was also her war and her story. World War II.
Wednesday at 11 on Arizona PBS.
ASU researchers have created a series of tech-based studies to help older adults with dementia and other cognitive diseases. The goal is to find new ways for these adults to connect with society while staying active and social. Joining us now is David Kuhn, co-director of ASU's Roybal Center. Good to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be here.
Before we get too far, ASU's Roybal Center is what?
So it is funded by the National Institute on Aging. It's a highly competitive opportunity that comes around about every 5 years. And so we came together, those of us in the Center for Innovation in Healthy and Resilient Aging, came together and really wanted to look at what was happening for older adults in our state and beyond. And what we really saw is this growing number of people living alone with cognitive decline. And there was an opportunity within this funding mechanism through the National Institutes of Health, NIA, a National Institute on Aging, to apply for this, and that's what we did.
And the studies, correct me if I'm wrong here, studies very much involved with technology.
Yes, yes. So the program that we developed requires a social and behavioral basis. So we're going to really try to help people through social, psychological, means to help them improve the quality of their lives, but using technology to help advance that as well. And that's what the goal of the center is it brings those things together.
Okay, a couple of programs here I want some more information
Sure.
on. One is called iPass.
Yes.
What is that?
So iPass is increasing physical activity through support and stress resilience. And it's a program that looks at people that are older adults that are starting to have cognitive complaints, cognitive concerns. And what we know is that increasing physical activity can really help people better manage not only how they feel overall, but also in terms of can have some impact on their cognition. And so this program brings together not only coaching that helps people sort of work through goals to go ahead and increase their physical activity, but it utilizes Garmin watches, it utilizes tech-based messages, et cetera, to help guide people through this.
These are activity trackers.
Kind of activity trackers with additional support to get people really engaged, and particularly in this case, older adults who are less physically active.
With these activity trackers, what have the studies shown so far? I mean, does it have to be, interval kind of activity? Does it have to be huffing and puffing here, just moving around? What are we talking about with physical activity?
Well, I think there's a wide variety of what we see out there in the research. But in this case, we know that even people that are less physically active, just getting up and moving, so increasing steps, doing walking, just staying more physically active, and that's what the goal is. It's incremental in nature. It's getting people to move from one goal to another to help improve that physical activity and that quality of life.
And getting them to do that by way of virtual coaching.
Virtual coaching is a key part of the iPass study, but also has a manual that goes along with it, some education with it, and through that virtual coaching, also encouraging people to connect with others so they don't become so socially isolated. This is one of the key issues with people living alone.
And you can track that. Obviously, you can track physical activity with some of these virtual trackers, but just conversation, just how do you monitor?
Well, in this particular case, it's more through the coaching that they're getting that input from folks in that case, as opposed to necessarily tracking that level of tracking.
So just getting the coaching is communication in and of itself.
That's right, and getting feedback about how this person is telling, this older adult is saying what they're doing in terms of connecting with others as well, as they get more physically active.
There's another program, Epic LA Plus, something along.
Yes.
What is that?
It's Epic is early stage partners in care living alone. So what this really focuses on are people who have been identified by a healthcare provider as having something like mild cognitive impairment or early stage dementia. So they've already been diagnosed as somebody that has started to have more serious cognitive concerns. And what we do in that particular program is bring them together in a group setting, and it provides opportunities to do psychoeducational skill building and care planning. And I can tell you more about that as well.
But please do. And but this is all virtual. This is all technology, correct?
So this is all done via Zoom. So while we've had people, a good deal of people so far from Arizona, it also expands across the nation. So we've had 17 people from 17 different states so far participate in this. We do it, it's Zoom-based. There are 6 group sessions, so they meet other people like themselves. And then there's an individual session that's highly personalized because it focuses on identifying your care values and your preferences for future care tasks. Who will help you?
Yeah, future care tasks, and also, I would imagine, just practical skills for everyday living.
That's right. It's doing things like helping you develop scripts about who you want to say, how you want to communicate with others about your cognitive decline, because some people don't want to communicate about the issue with everyone. It's also about managing your everyday activities to make sure you're not social isolating again, because the more you withdraw, the worse it becomes.
What kind of results are you seeing from this?
So we've got fantastic results in terms of people's perception of benefit. Because it's a trial, the early stage trial showed, the pre-trial showed some good positive outcomes on a variety of things, from preparation for the future, from mood changes, et cetera. We're in the midst of a clinical trial right now, a more advanced trial. So I can't tell you exactly those outcomes yet, but we are getting very positive feedback in that trial from their perception of benefit, how they feel they're benefiting from it. But we'll look at the measures as the trial concludes.
Last question. What do we take from all this?
So I think what we take from all this is that we're seeing older adults really wanting to engage in this combination of how we bring together what we know from psychology, social sciences, et cetera, with technology to improve the quality of life of older adults, and how that will help people, even those people living alone, do better in their environment and perhaps live longer in that environment in a safe way.
Very good. David Kuhn, ASU Center for Innovation in Healthy and Resilient Aging. Good to have you here. Great information. Thank you so much.
Great to see you.
I had 5 ancestors.
Several ancestors.
8 Patriot ancestors.
I have 34 proven ancestors who fought in the American Revolution.
I would tell them how proud I am of their sacrifice, the fact that they were willing to go out and give up everything and commit treason against the crown for the beliefs of freedom and liberty.
I would ask them what led them to fight or support the cause of freedom in the colonies for American independence.
Thank you for the sacrifices, the lives and fortunes that people lost for our freedoms and to create this country that we are so proud to live in today.
I would reinforce to them how thankful I am every day for their sacrifices and what they did to bring freedom to the United States of America and to found this country with freedom for all and the opportunity for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
The Scottsdale Museum of Contemporary Art is presenting an exhibition titled Tender Alchemy, which features a mother-daughter duo that explores transformation, healing, and the invisible forces that shape the human experience. Joining us now are artists Beth Ames Schwartz and her daughter Julianne Schwartz. Good to have you both here. Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on the exhibit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Beth, we'll start with you. Tender Alchemy. What are we talking about here?
Well, I think both Julianne and I, we always thought our work was so different. And about 3 years ago, she had the idea that maybe we should have an exhibition together. And I'm very honored about this fact. And my work has, well, the show is a little bit like a survey show, and it starts from 1970 and goes right up to the present, and maybe one piece from each series. I work in series. And basically, my work explores wisdom systems.
In how so?
Well, we have lots of different religions, philosophies, and I explore each one, and then I do a project in depth. For instance, I did a project on 8th century Chinese poetry called The 13th Moon, and the 4 wonderful poets from the 8th century, and then we translated the work, and I put some of the poetry in English. I did another project called Visible Reminders based on T.S. Eliot's 4 quartets.
Wow.
And the beginning is the end, and then the end is the beginning. And I guess I'm a bit of a philosopher, and I believe after studying all these different wisdom systems, I've come up to the conclusion that one, all life is sacred and we haven't learned it yet. And another conclusion that we need to treat each other better.
Yeah. Julianne, your art, describe your art Describe how it fits in with your mom's art.
Well, my mother does primarily painting, and I do sculpture and installation and work with sound. And my work uses immaterial forces like magnetism and light and sound waves, sound as energy. So I'm really molding kind of energetic forces, and I use very basic materials like a lot of craft processes also, like handmade paper, ceramics, and metal, wood. But then I combine these materials with these more ephemeral forces.
Yeah, the sound and the light and the energy sounds participatory in some respects?
Some works are actually interactive, and some are participatory in the sense that they might be kinetic or have duration, and so they kind of are performing for the visitor.
Yeah, yeah. A moving point of balance, I believe, is the collaboration I want to focus on a little bit here, because that sounds like what we just talked about and what you just talked about. It really is a collaboration.
Actually, actually, our collaborative
yes.
effort is not moving point of balance.
Oh, it's not. That's the one.
Yeah.
That's not. Okay.
Because
the owner didn't want to loan it, so it's not in the exhibition. But what's wonderful is that I have a new series called Quantum Light that I've just started. I have the first 7 paintings, and the curator, Lauren O'Connell, who's amazing, decided she would like to create the environment with the new work. And I'm very excited because I just had my 90th birthday, and the new work is a lot about the soul and where we go. When I was a little girl, I thought everybody went to heaven because there were all the stars in the sky, so maybe everybody became a star, I don't know. But so this work is a little bit about eternity, I guess, and Julianne is doing sound installation.
Yeah, I'm making a very specific soundtrack for this group of paintings, and it's a very specially delivered sound. I'm using ultrasound speakers so that the sound travels in very focused beams, and I'm using some very high-pitched tuning forks that are particularly tuned to vibrate bones in the cranium.
Holy smokes!
And also I'm using light pulses from stars that I got from NASA.
Yeah.
NASA. How do you pronounce it?
NASA. You got it.
So it's a combination of star sounds and instrumental sounds, and there's some voice in there, and then there's some other sounds that I made.
Obviously a collaborative process here. How much interaction during the process? Or does Julianne come to you and say, I'm doing something that's going to go up here, I hope you like it? Or does she say, I'm doing something that comes up here, what do you think?
No, it's all based on trust.
Yeah.
We just love each other a lot. I think maybe we knew each other in another life. I mean, there's this subliminal connection that it's just trust.
Yeah, yeah.
And love, love.
Have you collaborated before?
Never.
Never? What took you so long?
Yeah, we've never shown our work together before.
Never.
Wow. Is there a reason you think behind that, or it just happened to be?
Well, our work is so different, very, very different. So it's really interesting in the exhibition. Mom's big room is it's a survey of many, many years, and you see that her paintings are very dense, And then my room is just a very focused sampling of very recent work and work that I made specifically for this show. It's much less work than my mom's room, and my work is very, very minimal and very spare, and it's, you know, just, it's an interesting...
I'm a maximalist,
Yes.
and she's a minimalist.
Yes,
Very good.
And that
true.
shows that the world can really have peace.
Well, not only that, but it works together pretty well. Last question here. How do you get what you want to get across, both of you actually, what you want to get across without being preachy, without being obvious, without saying, I'm going to teach you a lesson?
It's very important for me personally, I can't talk for other artists, for the work to come from the inside out. In other, often I'll have a vision of what I'm interested in, and then sometimes I'll study for a year, and the first painting can take 6 months to a year, and it just has to be authentic.
Yeah.
And I've sacrificed a lot through the years because there are always some series people like more than others, and so I can't ever worry about the, who likes it.
Well, unfortunately, we have to stop it right there, but it's good to have you both here. Thank you so much for joining. Congratulations on
Thank
the
you.
exhibit and on a great lifetime of art. Good to have you here.
Thank you very much.
That's it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
When you want to be more inspired, Arizona PBS delivers unforgettable experiences in music, theater, and the arts, thanks to members like you. And
So many Arizonans